was gone. What did you want?
Boys, current issue at the moment, and they were talking about it on the project Channel 10 TV show for you. That's Australian TV show for you boys who are overseas. This is a current issue for us Australians, mate. You know, the Indigenous flag, they want to put the Indigenous flag, the Aboriginal flag on the Harbour Bridge. And originally they were going to put a new pole on there. At the moment they've got the Australian and the New South Wales flag. And as far as I know, they were going to put a new pole on there. It was going to cost $25 million. But now they're going to just take off the New South Wales flag and put on the Aboriginal flag on that pole. And look, I think it's a bloody great idea. That's just me. I think, yeah, whatever. But you know what? And, you know, saying, you know, and then there's talk about, you know, would we one day make the Aboriginal flag the Australian flag? You know, this is something, I mean, there's lots of areas of discussion here. Tell you something, we're constantly arguing about this. What should we do? Should we change the date of Australia Day? Should we, you know, Aborigines see that as Invasion Day? You know, should we change the date? Should we do this? Should we do that? Triple J has changed the hottest 100 day because it was on Invasion Day. They've done that. What should we do? I'll tell you what we haven't done, mate. Ask an Aboriginal person. You know, say, look, ask them. What do you feel? You know, have you, boys, ask yourself personally, have you ever spoken to an Aboriginal and asked them how they're feeling, mate? You know, have you got an Aboriginal mate? You know, maybe you've never talked about this stuff, mate. You know, if you've got an Aboriginal mate, to open up, mate. It's time to address the elephant in the room. Maybe you've never talked about the fact that he's Aboriginal, mate, and you've never addressed the elephant in the room and talked about this stuff, mate. And you know, if you have got an Aboriginal mate, bloody go and talk to him, mate. Ask him, mate. Ask him what he thinks. You know, get him, say, mate. Ask him, mate. Do you mind opening up about this, mate? Can I open up with you? And don't expect him to open up without you opening up, boys. You open up first. Look, you say to him, mate, can I open up? Can I open up with you? You know, I want to know what you think. You know, I don't know what the solution is here, mate. You know, but you're Aboriginal, you know. I want to know, what do you feel about it, mate? You know, start that with him. Start that way with him, boys. Because if you come in and go, do you reckon the Aboriginal flag should be on the bridge? He might be on the defensive. He might feel like you're attacking him, boys. So be careful about that. Be mindful how you approach your mate. And if you haven't got an Aboriginal mate, you know, go find an Aboriginal. Go find one. Go to the community centre or the park or go to a community, Aboriginal community. Find one, you know, seek them out, mate. Make the effort, boys, you know, go to the community, you know, talk to someone. Talk to an elder, you know. What do you think about this? Because have we done this? We're just making assumptions with this, boys, about how they feel. And we need to go on and ask them if they can open up about it. Tell us how you're feeling. What would make you feel? How do you feel about this? What would make you feel better? What do you think is respectful? That's a few questions to lead off with, boys. I'll leave it up to you, you know. Whatever you feel is appropriate in that moment, boys, you know. Trust your gut. Go with your gut instinct, you know. And if they're resisting it, so look, you know, pull back. Say, boy, you know, sorry, mate, you know. I understand if you don't want to open up, you know, maybe another time. And just don't judge him for that. Don't judge your Aboriginal mate if he doesn't want to open up. That's fine as well. That's fine. There's no right way to react to this issue. It's a tense, sensitive bloody issue, boys. We all know that, mate. I tell you what, you know, because, you know, ask your mate, ask your Aboriginal mate, how do they feel about when we came here and we took over the land, you know, from the traditional custodians? How do they feel about it, mate? How do they feel about it? Have they moved on? Do they still carry that with them through the day, you know? I'll tell you, it's talking about opening up, boys. I tell you what, a few bloody things would have been solved if the original, you know, if Captain Cook and his mates had bloody opened up when they came here. If the original bloody, you know, guys who colonised the place, if they'd opened up with the Aboriginals, you know, we wouldn't be in this bloody situation. I'm not blaming them, mate. That's a part of their journey, mate. I'm not having a go, but I'm just saying, can you imagine it in an ideal world if they'd come here, landed here, and then opened up, started a conversation, boys, you know? Imagine that, you know, it would have been so much better that way, but you know, it's easier for us to open up. I mean, it's not even easy for us to open up these days, but can you imagine how hard it must have been for those bloody old Englishmen, you know, the Captain Cook and his mates, how hard it must have been for them to open up. The amount of toxic masculinity about how manly they were back in the day and how hard it must have been. It's hard enough for us to open up these days, mate. The amount of being on that ship for months. Can you imagine what they were doing on that ship? The toxic masculinity, the stuff that was happening. And if they just opened up, but they couldn't open up, mate, you know? That's why we've got to start the healing process, boys, by opening up, talking about our feelings, not judging the other people, you know, having an open heart, boys, practicing our mindfulness. You know what? Just thinking about it now, it's not just about going and opening up. Do you know, think about what you're grateful for. Get in a good mindset before you go and start the conversation, boys, you know. If you don't know what I'm talking about, that's fine. You know, I'll cover you. You'll pick it up as we go along, boys, but be grateful. Think about what you want to achieve by opening up. You know, ask the universe for guidance when you open up, boys, you know, and that's gonna, and then, you know, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. Just go and start the process. Opening up, it's a process. You're not gonna completely open up. Especially if you ask your Aboriginal mate, it might take him time to open up to you. Get that trust with you, boys, you know. So just make a start with it, and bloody good luck with it. All right, boys, it's time for Jonno's self-help tip of the week. Now listen, boys, get yourself, now, I'll tell you a bloody book that turned my bloody life around. And I'm not saying I'm perfect, by the way. I want to say that straight off, but boys, I'm not saying I'm perfect. This podcast, yes, I'm going to be giving out advice, self-help tips, but honestly, boys, this is part of this. I'm learning just as much as you are. I'm still on my journey, you know. I haven't reached my destination yet, boys. You know, I'm still learning. I'm telling you, and even when I'm teaching you boys about this stuff, which I'm about to teach you, it's still bloody good for me to go through it again, and I'll pick up and I'll learn even more, and it'll remind me of stuff I've already learned, and I'll relearn it, boys. So it's not about me talking down to you boys and telling you what to do. You know, I'm one of you boys. I'm one of the boys on this journey with you, learning. And I want you to go out. I want you to get yourselves a copy. Remember when The Secret came out? Remember we were on Oprah years ago when The Secret, this book called The Secret, came out on Oprah, and by Rhonda Byrne, and it's a great book. Don't get me wrong, but I tell you what, she wrote another book, which get yourselves a copy of this one, boys. It's called The Magic. And the thing I love about this book, The Secret's a great book, but the thing I love about The Magic is that it gives you daily exercises to put into practice, boys. And the thing I love about The Magic, it's all about gratitude. You know, it's all about being grateful. And I know that sounds like you may not fully comprehend that, boys. Honestly, get a book and you'll know what I'm talking about. You know, you may not, gratitude sounds like, yeah, we're all grateful, but you don't know what it means, boys. You don't know what it means until you get this book. Because we all go through life, we've got to do this, we've got to do that. There's so many things to do. We're all in a bloody rush. Walking on the footpath, on our phones. Crazy, mate. We're not present, boys. There's so much to do. We're never stopping thinking about what we're grateful for now, what we've got now. And this is what I bloody love about this book. It gives you daily exercises to do to be grateful. To be bloody grateful, boys. And it put me in such a good bloody mindset. Before I was bloody stressed out, it turned things around for me a little bit. It made me get up and just feel so much better about every day, taking every day one day at a time. And it's such a cliche, boys, but it's so, you don't know what it's like until you've read this book. Now listen, that on day one, to be honest, I don't even have the book in front of me. I know this off by heart, and I can easily open it up. I'll find it when I can, and I'll read it directly from the book. But just for now, I promise you right now, boys, I know this off by heart. And the first day one of the magic, it's about just simply listing 10 things that you're grateful for. And that could be anything. And I know it sounds simple, but it's just first thing in the morning, great way to start your day, boys. Think about 10 things you're grateful for. And I'm not going to tell you what to be grateful for. That's not up to me. Everyone's different. Everyone's got a different journey. Everyone has different perceptions of what is good to be grateful for. I'll give you an example. You could be grateful for the sun, for giving us life on earth. But, without the sun shining down on earth, we wouldn't be here. There'd be no life on earth. Imagine, just think about that for a second, boys. No life on earth. What about, you could be grateful for the trees giving us oxygen. We take it for granted. We walk around, we're just breathing. We don't even think about it. How good is it to have oxygen, boys? To have that, breathe into your lungs, that oxygen, Or you could be grateful just for your job, Sounds crazy, doesn't it, boys? You think, oh, I have to bloody go to work. Another bloody dollar, another day, another dollar. All those cliches. But some until you have time off work and you go, God, thank God I got a bloody job, so it'd be great. And the thing that's going to help you with this, they say, you don't have to do this, but when you're listing your 10 things to be grateful for, boys, think about why you're grateful for it. As I just gave some examples, grateful for the sun because it gives us life on earth, so that's just an example, So it's up to you. It's your, do whatever. It's going to be tough at first, boys, to think of 10 things. I understand that. But practice. Don't be hard on yourself if you can't think of 10 things. But do your best. Make a start with it, boys. Just start tomorrow. Don't hold it off, boys. I know what you mean. I'm a procrastinator as well. I'm not having a go at you if you procrastinate. I've been there, mate. I've been there. But anyway, look. See how you bloody go, boys. Tomorrow, list your 10 things. Look it up as well. Rhonda Byrne, The Magic. Feel free to bloody look it up. Find your exercises on there. But even just listening to this, if you just want to go tomorrow, list your 10 things you're grateful for. Get off to a bloody great start for the day, boys. Bloody good luck with it. And let me know how you go. Boys.
Well, the night's still young. So don't cry, babe. You're in my arms, and here you'll stay, and here you'll stay.